Hi. Ugh. Welcome to Frankenstein Tea. Somebody coming up the stairs. I'm Kristen. I'm the library director with the Island Free Library. This is a daily short story program for adult listeners. I am fidgeting around and trying to get set here for today's story. Just came in from putting some grass seed down. That's the kind of day we are having on Block Island. Warm, and it's been very dewy, and it's a grass seed kind of day. So we were my coworker was doing the rake, I was doing the seeds, and then we had some kids with us stamping them down and getting ready. So I'm gonna have a sip of water. Or 2 sips, and I'm going to say welcome to Frankenstein Tea. And I'm going to read a story. I think we made it to Friday. Whew, been a long week. It is Friday, November 6th. And I had some time to pick a story today, and I still went for Ray Bradbury. So, if you follow this program, sometimes I go for Bradbury because he's sort of, attainable, right? I can pick them up. I got two volumes of books with 100 stories each in them. And they're up here at this table where I often read from. And so, he's an easy go-to. And he writes great short stories, right? He's like, wow, prolific and quite the master of the short story. And today I had some time and I was poking around at other stories and I wasn't sure what I was feeling. And I found this book, Ray Bradbury, and it's in the library collection. And I'm going for it. So it's another Ray Bradbury, not from the ones we normally read from, a different one. This book is called The Cat's Pajamas Stories. Ray Bradbury, published by William Morrow, published in, different publications. The Cat's Pajamas was published in 2004 by Ray Bradbury. Let me see, where's the story I want to read? What am I reading? Oh, this is what I'm reading. I'm going to read other things from this book as we go along too. Maybe I'll put the big ones away and just have this book as a little reference. I'm trying to clean up my piles of books now that we're opening. Just so people have access to these books that I've been reading in case you want to come in and find a book. But this is Ray Bradbury from The Cat's Pajamas. Where's my hat? What's my hurry? 2003 is the copyright on this short story. One more sip of water. Okay. Where's my hat? What's my hurry? Tell me, Alma, when were we last in Paris? He said. My God, Carl, Alma said. Don't you remember? Only 2 years ago. Ah, yes, Carl said and wrote on his notepad, 2002. He glanced up. And before that, Alma? In 2001, of course. Yes, 2001. And then there was 2000. How could you forget the new century? The false new century. People couldn't wait. They had to celebrate a year too soon. Good old too soon, good old Paris in 2000, he scribbled. She glanced over and leaned forward. What are you doing? Recalling Paris. How many visits? How nice. She leaned back, smiling. Not necessarily. Were we there in 1999? I seem to recall Jane's wedding, Sam's graduation. We missed that year. Paris missed, 1999. There. He struck a line through the date. We were there in 1998, 1997, 1996. She nodded 3 times. He went down the years all the way back to 1983. She kept nodding. He wrote the dates and then spent a long time looking at them. He made some adjustments and scribbled some comments beside some of the dates and then sat for a moment brooding. At last, he picked up the phone and punched in a number. When he reached it, he said, "Aragon Travel? I want 2 tickets, one in my name and one with no name, today on the United flight at 5 to Paris. I'd appreciate your getting back to me as soon as possible." He gave his name and credit card number. He put down the phone. "Paris?" said his wife. "You didn't warn me. There's no time." "I just made up my mind a few minutes ago." "Just like that? Still. Didn't you hear? 1 ticket with my name, 1 with no name, name to be supplied." "But you're not going." "But you've ordered 2 tickets. Name and volunteer to be supplied." "Volunteer?" "I'm calling several." "But if you had only waited 24 hours." "I can't wait. I've waited 20 years. 20? He jabbed the phone buttons. Far off, the phone rang. A high voice fluted. "Estelle?" he said. "Carl, I know this is impromptu, silly, but do you have an up-to-date passport?" "You do?" "Well," he laughed. "How would you like to fly to Paris this afternoon, 5 o'clock? He listened. "No joke. Serious. Paris. 10 nights. Same room, same bed, me and you. 10 nights. All expenses paid." He listened and nodded, eyes shut. "Yes, yeah, yes, I see. Well, yes, go on. I understand. I could only try. Maybe next time. Hey, I understand. I can take no very well. Sure. So long." He hung up and stared at the phone. That was Estelle. "I heard." "She can't make it. Nothing personal." "That's not how it sounded." "Hold on. I'm holding." He dialed. Another, higher voice answered. "Angela? Carl, this is crazy. But could you meet me at United Airlines 5 this afternoon? Small carry-on, destination Paris. 10 nights, champagne and pillow talk, bed and breakfast, you, me." The voice shrieked on the phone. "I take it that's a yes. Wonderful." He hung up and could hardly stop laughing. "That was Angela," he cried, beaming. "So I gathered." "No arguments. A happy camper. Now, would you hold on?" He left the room and came back a few minutes later carrying a very small suitcase and tucking his wallet and passport inside his coat pocket. He stood swaying and laughing in front of his wife. "Now," she said, "explanations." "Yes." He handed her the list he had written 10 minutes ago. 1980 through 2002, he said. "Our time in Paris, correct?" She glanced at the list. "Correct." "And?" "We were in France together all those times." "Always together, yes." She scanned the list again. "But I don't see." "You never did. Tell me, do you recall in all our trips to Paris, how often did we make love?" "What a strange question." "Not strange at all. How many?" She studied the list as if the total was there. "You can't expect me to name the exact times." "No," he said, "because you can't." "Can't?" "Not even if you tried." "Surely." "No, not surely, because not one night in Paris, the city of love, not one night ever did we make love." "There must have been." "No, not once. You've forgotten. I remember. Total recall. Never once, not once, did you call me to bed." There was a long silence as she stared at the list and at last let it fall from her fingers. She did not look at him. Does it all come back now? He wondered aloud. She nodded silently. And isn't it sad? He said. She nodded again quietly. Remember that lovely film we saw so long ago when Garbo and Melvin Douglas looked at a clock in Paris and it was almost 12 and he says, "Oh, Nanichka, Nanichka." The big hand and the little hand almost touch, and in a moment, one half of Paris will be making love to the other half. Nanichka, Nanichka. His wife nodded and a tear appeared in her eye. He went to the door and opened it and said, "You do understand why I have to go, because next year I might be too old or maybe even not here." "It's never too late," she began. "For us, yes, too late. 20 years in Paris, too late. 20 weeks and 20 July 14th possible nights, Bastille days, and all of it too late. My God, it's sad. I could almost cry. But another year, I did. Goodbye." "Goodbye," she whispered. He opened the door and stood there, staring at the future. "Oh, Nanichka, Nanichka," he whispered and went out and was careful to shut the door with no sound. The concussion thrust her back in her chair. Short story program for adult listeners on this YouTube channel daily at 3 p.m. from the Island Free Library with me, Kristen, the director. That one is just perfect, huh? Sad for me. Sad, but perfect. Right, that timing right to that last line. The short story last line is tricky, right? We've read a lot of them together. That one ties it right up. All right. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the sunshine. Going to finish up my Friday. Have a little bit of a Friday night. You know, probably changing my sheets and cleaning my room. But that's still a fun Friday night. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Okay, everybody. Stay well. Peace.